What's up, YouTube? Welcome in to Sweet 16 of Horizon Zero Dawn with a therapist. It has been a pleasure to guide you through the first 15 parts of this playthrough. I am super excited to start part 16. That was a hell of an episode we just had, and so we're going to probably chill a little bit, although I said we were going to chill last episode, and then we ended up having all the craziness that went down. So who knows what the hell's going to happen. Regardless, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Check the links in the description. Let's have a lovely stream, huh? All right, level 41 already. I got 4 talent points to spend. I'm just gonna go one at a time over here. All right, down we go. That's a lot of rope. It's convenient that all of these ropes are available for me to go down this skyscraper. Now, we are not going to go immediately to the grave horde. I am going to say that. We got some other shit that we're going to try to knock out first. Oh no, I did it again! Ah! God damn it. Dude, the amount of times I've killed Aloy by... What the hell? What is going on here? Why can I not use this? All right, whatever. We're gonna do... We're just gonna do it this way. Because it's easier. I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place. King, thanks for the 29 months, buddy. Stray Mutt, thanks for gifting that sub to Rosie. Oh, man. And so ends the story of Aloy. We get all that information. Silence is pissed. He's going to stand over her body like the Simpsons meme and just be like, pathetic. All right, let's go get this vantage point. Jesus. Off to a great start. Yeah, these vantage points I think are still probably my favorite part of the game so far. I've been chewing on a thought about the last episode. Why do you think the door in the Pharaoh building let Aloy in, even though she wasn't at 100%?
Okay, Aloy, now what?
It's a great question. I am wondering if there is something to Elizabeth designing it that way, if Elizabeth was part of the design. I don't know. Maybe the door is not as secure. Oh, of course. It's over there. Take a little risk, huh? Widgie, what's up? Thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Hello, friends. If you're not following the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Head Widgeon, please change that. Coming along with Widgie and you somehow don't know who I am. Hi, I'm DrMick, licensed couple and family therapist, PhD in human development. And this is Game Sessions with a Therapist, where we play cool games like Horizon Zero Dawn. Talk about mental health, psychology, therapy, and more in an effort to destigmatize those things and bring information to people who wouldn't otherwise have it in a responsible and ethical way. I do not do therapy on stream, but I do answer questions related to mental health, usually at the beginning of streams. Come hang out for those. This is a spoiler-free run of Horizon. Please don't backseat or spoil. It's great to have you all here. Widgie, I hope you had a great stream. Thank you, as always, for bringing folks over here. It is awesome of you to do that. We are on part 16. All right, let's jump right back into these because these are great. Ooh. It's like we're in New Mexico for the balloon thing.
Day 11. I came out here to die. But instead of overdosing at Wyatt's cottage, I went out walking along the water. I was standing right here when the idea hit me. And the moment it did, I knew I had to do it.
Uh-oh. That was part 11, so I'm guessing that's him talking about killing himself. All right, here we go. Text. Hi, Ma. I came here with a duffel full of drugs after I found out about the plague. I had a plan, a simple one. I figured I'd spend a few days getting high, then OD on Overcast. I guess I was still furious at Wyatt for aiding and abetting your silence. Everything had gone according to plan, my corpse would have lay rotting in the cottage for who knows how long. He would have needed to lease catastrophic cleaning bots just to scrape me off the floor. A skeletal middle finger from beyond the grave. But things didn't go to plan. For some reason, I went out walking before I got high. I trudged along the shore, thinking of all the times we walked and talked there. How I'd changed over the years. How you'd stayed the same. Whether I was a high schooler jabbering about AP classes or a university student gossiping about my professors, or an FAS engineer pontificating about payload yields, you were always there, always listening, always interested. And always encouraging me, of course, spurring me on. Onwards and upwards. But now here I was, an abject failure, standing alone on this beach, as all around me children chased playbots across the sand. Sunbathers basked, families splashed in the water or zipped past on old-timey boats, utterly oblivious to the mechanical terrors that would soon consume them. Brief moments in the sun, doomed to end in horror and amount to nothing. All your love and devotion, all the sacrifices you made to support my success, what did that come to? Failure, and at such cost. We never even got a chance to say goodbye. But even if I hadn't failed, if I'd gone on succeeding, would that have been any better? The whole time I was clawing my way up the ladder at FAS, the company's military division was creating the tech that would end the world. I served the same master. Success was a ladder to nowhere. It just took falling off and landing on the Vantage project to see it. I don't know why, but the irony of that had never hit me until I was standing on this beach. That it was only because I'd failed and been assigned to Vantage, an abandoned time capsule project, that I'd found out the world was ending. Irony? More like a cosmic joke. Why then did the realization hit me like an inspiration? I had access to the tech. I knew I could do it. Sure, in the end, it would probably all just come to nothing, like everything else. But for 50,000 years or more, whatever data I left behind would still be there. It wouldn't be much, but it wouldn't be nothing either. I went back to the cottage, stashed the drugs, called a lift spin into town. If I was going to make an end of the world tour, I figured I might as well do it in style. So I leased a Subaru and rode that to FAS. I let myself into the lab, signed out 12 Vantage spikes for testing, put them in the trunk of the Subaru, and the rest is history. It was less than 2 weeks ago. Feels like forever. When I started the tour, I figured I'd come back here and pick up where I left off, get high, then dead. But the first thing I did when I got back was to incinerate the drugs. All 2.5 months of salary worth. So that bridge to oblivion has literally been burned. I don't know how I'm gonna die, but it can't be like that. I know how you felt about me and drugs. However it happens, I can at least promise you this. I will die clean. I still have one last spike to sink, one final stop on the Grand Mystery Tour. I'll see you there. So it seems like this guy is part of a project of ensuring that future humans that survive their way through all the apocalypse shitstorm have some level of like understanding of the time ahead of time. These are crazy deep though, absolutely. Like these are really remarkable on how they're written. Oof. And this guy's basically like using them in some ways as like a personal reflection. Wow. All right. Another flower across the way, so this probably would have been really cool to work on as a writer. Oh, I agree completely. It would be really fun because I don't know always how these things work, but if I had to guess, probably one of those things where you're basically said like, hey, we want to have this guy who planted these things, but we want you to like use your creative energy to come up with this story and then let us know what you got, which is great. It would be an absolute dream to work on one of these games. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's cool. You get to flex your creativity. There's so much regret in each of them. What's kind of amazing, whether it's watching what happened with Ted Faro, whether it's going through what's going on with these vantage points, is the utter sense of like helplessness and hopelessness, and the really dramatic realization of what it is that these humans actually created and did. And it's really, really interesting stuff to watch everybody process that information. Hello. Not buying what you're selling, Mr. Gator. It's just well written though, because they really feel real.
I think I'm in the clear.
Like what that guy is struggling with is it's real. Like I can only imagine how many people tried to immerse themselves in ignorance, how many people tried to actively figure out ways to try to solve an unsolvable problem. I mean, I can't imagine being in the position that so many of these people were, where you could see this stuff coming or it's just happening to you, and like having such limited time and having to process that, and everybody kind of gets into their own ways of managing that. And in this case, like this guy is basically making these journals that he's planting into the world as time capsules in the hopes that maybe somebody will connect with it 50,000 years later. But really fascinating stuff. I would love like a movie that covers, or like a TV show that covers all of that as it was happening. Like similar like how The Last of Us had the TV show. It would be so cool if there was a Horizon TV show that would cover the before times and like how Project Zero Dawn was developed, how people like having these characters, how they interacted, how they interfaced. Like it'd be really badass to have that. I would be all over that.
It's...
When you are so full of sorrow that you can't walk, can't cry anymore, think about the green foliage that sparkles after the rain. When the daylight exhausts you, when you hope a final night will cover the world, think about the awakening of a young child. I really do want to know more about like these metal flowers too.
That's why.
I agree, Aloy. All right. Looks like we have... Okay, so we can go to the Hunter's Lodge. Sun and Shadow return to Elita. Oh yeah, we should go do that and then pick these up. Alita's waiting for news about her dead friend, and we just been leaving her hanging while we went and did our own thing. We found him, he's died, and we're just like, she's fine, she's back at home, she'll deal with it.
If this Gavon came through here, the inn seems like a good place to start asking.
Gavin! No way. Gavon? There's no... if that's... I'm telling you, if that is a freaking callback to Gavin from Red Dead. Gavin! Gavin! It just feels too coincidental. But didn't Red Dead 2 come out after Horizon Zero Dawn? So there's no way. Yeah, okay. That would be hilarious. And maybe it's just a hilarious coincidence. Oh boy. Okay, so you may be asking yourselves, or if you're not, you are now. How do you break the news to somebody that somebody they love is dead? It's not really an enviable position to be in. And it's an important moment for me to discuss a little bit about how humans get weird about death very quickly. And so many of us have developed all of these abstract constructs to try to soften the blow of death. The most important thing that Aloy could do here when delivering this news is to be clear and to be direct and to start with the information. So you walk up to her and you say, I'm glad you're sitting down. I have some bad news. Forgot what his name is. That's not important, but he's dead. He didn't make it. I was there. He gave me this to give this to you. And I'm here. If you want to be there, I'm here in whatever way you need right now to talk it through. But that's how you got to do it. A lot of people beat around the bush. They get wrapped up in their own anxiety. They personalize the fact that they have to deliver the news. They don't want to be the person to do it. They start to avoid. They start to project. You start to do all these things. Be clear. This person died. They are no longer available. Same thing with talking to children about death. We had a really good moment of talking about that in Dragon Age 2, so I'm not going to belabor it. But just speak to the facts. The reality is he's dead. She needs to know that. We don't need to waste a bunch of time. You can handle it softly. You can be empathic. But that's your directive here. It sucks. You just got to own that it sucks.
Don't say it. I know he's gone.
The Shadow Carja found him. But you should know, he never betrayed you. He wanted you to have this key.
It's the key to the lock he gave me. He said our lives were locked together. Thank you for bringing it back. For all you did for us.
He said it was worth it. All of it. Are you all right?
No. But I will be soon.
Are you saying what I think you're saying? Elita, no. Look at me.
It's pretty good insight from Aloy there. Actually, really good insight. I thought the same thing when she said that. Aloy's doing a really lovely job to be like soft and warm in how she's handling Elita, and I love that she's not making this moment about her at all. She's being what I think any of us would hope that she could be. Now, I appreciate Aloy's ability to read between the lines of what Elita is saying, but I want to be very clear that it is not Aloy's responsibility to understand that Elita might be alluding to suicide here. In the same way that it's none of your responsibility to pick up on that clue. A lot of people will get frustrated with themselves or beat themselves up in hindsight if something was to happen here where you go, oh shit, that's what she meant? Oh my God, I could have done something. Elita didn't come out straight up and say, I'm going to go kill myself. There's a bit of an inference there, but we don't know that that's true. Elita might say, no, I'm going to go unlock the thing with this key, and that's going to make me feel better. Like, we don't know exactly what's going on, but my antenna perked up a little bit too when she said that. And it is okay to check in with it, but I'm here to tell you, chat, you should really only check in on that if you are prepared for the answer to that. It's not your responsibility to intervene here. It's not your responsibility to read between the lines. If you ask her, Elita, are you talking about killing yourself? You should only ask that question if you're prepared to hear the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, then I hope you've watched my video called The Conversation About Suicide on YouTube, where I talk in depth about what you might do in that scenario. Okay? But so many people think it's their responsibility to be able to read between the lines and understand how to intervene here, and it is not. You're not a professional. You haven't been trained. Alita didn't say it directly. If Alita does decide that she's going to go end her own life because of what happened here, and she didn't say it directly to Aloy, she's responsible for that decision. She is responsible. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It's a really hard thing to get your head around to. But it is the reality of it. So again, I appreciate Aloy's insight here, and I appreciate that she's willing to, but I do wish that Aloy would have been more direct in her questioning here. So instead of saying, I hope you don't mean what I think you mean, which is way too ambiguous, it would be better if Aloy said, Alita, are you talking about killing yourself? By the way, if you ask that question, you are not going to automatically make a person go, oh, I wasn't going to kill myself, but that's a great idea. I'll go do that. People worry sometimes that if they name that they're going to put the idea in somebody's head and that they're going to do it. That's not how it works. If she's not going to kill herself here, she's going to say, no, that's not at all what I mean. And then Aloy can say, oh, well, what do you mean? Okay. So asking about it and naming the taboo is not going to instill the idea in Alita's mind here. And so in a lot of ways, I wish that Aloy had been a little bit more direct here, but I do, again, appreciate her sensitivity and her understanding of what it is that Elita might be saying here. Now, again, this is an impasse where a lot of people wonder what they're supposed to say to somebody here who might be indicating that they want to end their own life. And I'm here to tell you that one of the worst things that you could say to somebody who says that to you, if they do say it to you, is, you don't want to do that. Terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. Because if they're telling you they want to do it, it's because they're considering it as an option. And if you just go, you don't want to do that, you're probably trying to avoid the anxiety of what just came up for you when that person disclosed it to you. So saying to her, you can't do this, is a terrible choice. Terrible choice. There's more at stake than you two, also terrible. In Alita's world, this meant everything to her. And so as a result, one of the things that she's considering is an option to end the pain of what it is that she's just experienced is to end her own life. It doesn't matter how small potatoes her issues are in the grand scheme of things. That is the reality for her. That is what she is immersed in. If you come in there with that kind of judgment by saying, oh, but there's bigger, more important things than that, nut up. You sound incredibly invalidating. So do not say that either. The only option to take here is to say something along the lines of, you are not alone. You've got your dad who seems to care about you. I care about you. There may be some other options here to mitigate some of the pain you're experiencing rather than ending your own life. And I'd love to help you explore some of those options if you're open to it. Also, do not say your loved one wouldn't want you to do this. Do not speak for the dead. Do not guilt trip somebody who is expressing suicidal ideation. That is just off the table. Do not do it. You're not alone. Help is out there. Call a hotline. I'm here for you in the ways that I can be. Let's explore some other options. Let me stay with you for a while. That kind of stuff is the way that you could respond to her here. And that's why we're going to choose this option.
Look at me. I can't imagine how you're feeling. But you don't have to go it alone. Your father was crushed when he thought you were dead.
Crushed. He still treats me like a perfect doll. His prized possession. No. With the trawl gone, I'm all alone. It isn't worth it.
Yeah, pulling the dad card there was not ideal. Again, I do not expect Aloy to nail this. Okay? I want to be very clear to people who are like, you can't expect Aloy. I don't expect Aloy to know how to do this. But this is an opportunity for me to illustrate some of the ways that you may want to intervene here if you are ever in this position. I worked on the suicide hotline for 3 years. Bringing dad into the mix and saying, oh, but your dad's going to miss you so much. It's not the way to go. Aloy started it out really well by saying, I can't imagine the kind of pain you're in. And I imagine right now you really want that to go away. And ending your own life feels like a really good strategic option for how you could do that. That makes a lot of sense. So many people worry that validating that desire is going to push that person to want to do it. And I cannot emphasize enough that you are not going to push somebody to kill themselves by empathizing with the fact that they want to do it. It's just an option that she's considering as like a last ditch effort because she's like, I'm all alone and it doesn't feel worth it. It's very teenage. But we talked about how in the teenage years, this shit hurts even more than anything else because this is maybe her first exposure to this kind of thing. So Aloy is not, I do not expect Aloy to nail this. And she's doing half good here. I wish that I could give Aloy a bit of this training so that she could respond in a different way. All right. But you really want to get away from instilling the idea that killing yourself is going to be a bummer to everybody around you. Like, people just really get into that. Like, you could say, I'd be sad if you're gone, and I would love for you to stick around, and I'd love to help you try to figure out some alternatives to that option. And I also understand that it feels like a really good option right now. So you don't want to make it about you. You don't want to make it about other people. You make it about this specific person and their pain. Generally, people get to a point where they consider suicide as an option because it seems like there are no other options. It is a really profound sense of hopelessness and helplessness. But oftentimes, like when I was on the suicide hotline, one of the things that would happen is as you empathized with somebody's desire to die, as you connect with the fact that they see ending their life as maybe the only option, one of the lines that I would say frequently to people, and I was trained with how to do this, but one of the lines that you would say to a person after you've built some rapport and some empathy with them is to say, you know, I hear how painful this is. You just lost a trawl. You spent so much of your life and emotional investment in him. It hurts like nobody could ever understand right now. And as a result, you're thinking about ending your own life. That makes sense. I could understand why that feels like a good option because it would make the pain go away. But I'm wondering if you're open to discussing other options for how we might help that pain go away that doesn't involve you ending your own life. If we could find something besides that that might help manage this pain a bit more effectively, would you be open to figuring that out? 100% of the time in the 3 years that I worked overnight shifts on the suicide hotline, the answer to that question was yes. And so then we would spend whatever amount of time we needed to spend trying to problem solve that. But it came from a validation of the fact that that person wants to end their own life, rather than you trying to talk them out of it. Okay? So I say this in part of like, if anybody watching this is struggling with your own suicidal ideation, please call a hotline. There are people out there that want to hear what you have to say, and they want to help you figure out how to manage what's going on. There are therapists out there that would love the opportunity to work with you and help figure out what's going on. If you call the suicide hotline, if you see a therapist and you're expressing suicidal ideation, you are not automatically going to go to the hospital. That only happens in very extreme circumstances. There are people that want to listen and help you figure this out. Okay? There are also text lines available. Now, Elita doesn't have access to that, which is a shame. She has access to Aloy right now. So again, Aloy's ideal response here would be in that level of connection rather than trying to bring her father into it. And you can see a little bit of Elita's resistance to that idea, which makes sense to me. That is consistent with how I would expect a person who is in Elita's situation to respond here. Okay, I realize I'm a bit long-winded here, but this is very intense stuff. And this is stuff that I think is really important for me to walk us through and elaborate on effectively, because I hope that none of you ever find yourself in this kind of situation. But if you do, I really hope you heed my words here. But you are also not expected to be perfect here. You are not expected to know what to do here because you don't possess the training. You do not need to be a hero here. The best that you can do in some cases is say, you know, this is not something that I am particularly well equipped to handle. I don't want to make it worse. There are professionals out there that know how to help you here, and I would love to support you in getting access to them. That sometimes is the best that you can do. Okay? So let's see what else goes on here, and let's see if there's more that we can go off of.
Wait, Elita. I was wrong about what a troll said. He didn't say it was worth it. He said it is worth it. All of it. Our losses can feel overwhelming. But they remind us of our connections to others. To a troll. Even to your father. A troll would have wanted you to remember that, and go on. I know it. Now will you?
Oh, man. She's taking a big risk saying that. She's taking a huge risk saying that. She's doing a really good job until she says the troll part. Okay? Again, I'm not judging Aloy for this. Aloy's doing her best to manage a very difficult situation, and I commend her for that immensely. Okay? She is doing well. Okay, this isn't she was doing well until she said the thing about a troll. Okay, Aloy is doing her best here. And I appreciate that, and I hope that it's just, that's how we have to look at this. Okay, she's doing her best. Would I remove the part about a troll? Yes, I would. You don't want to speak on behalf of the dead. Okay, but Aloy is doing a good job here. She is doing her best.
I'll try.
Please, let me get your father. Will you talk to him?
I guess.
Cool. So Aloy's going to put some pieces of support in front of Elita. That's great. That was enough for Elita to say, okay, cool, I will keep trying, because you just shared with me what a troll's last words were, and that carries meaning. That's okay. That's great. I'm glad that that was able to get through to her in a way that she feels open to talking to her father, and proximity to others is one of the major, if not the most important factor in mitigating a person actually following through with suicidal ideation. But Aloy is doing the best. It's an incredibly difficult situation to be in if you've never been trained. It really is. It causes a lot of anxiety for people. Now, he better handle this well, because if he doesn't, this is going to be rough.
Stirring up tensions.
I should have given you a token for your kindness in finding Elita. Is something wrong?
Elita needs you to listen. Right now. Go to the garden, quickly.
I will. At once.
Good.
Stirring up tensions.
Okay, now I'm going to go over there and I'm going to see if we can actually listen to this conversation. That is great. Now, if I was Aloy, again, I might give him a little bit extra of like, look, dude, I know this is going to freak you out, but you really need to just listen. Like, I love that she emphasized you need to listen. Let her talk. If you're a parent, I'm talking to you right now, okay? If your children or your teenagers are struggling and have this kind of issue going on for them, I cannot emphasize enough. Listening to them and keeping your cool is the only way forward with this. There are so many parents that might hear their child say something like, hey, I've been thinking about killing myself, and they freak out. And they make it way worse because they get all up in their bullshit about being a parent who somehow failed them or whatever. They will do all sorts of compensation for this. You have to listen. And you have to remind yourself, the fact that your child is willing to disclose that to you is a huge deal. Listen to them, ask them questions, ask how you can be supportive of them before you do anything. If you freak out and you make it about you, you are going to make it 1,000 times worse. This guy, in his parenting journey, what he is running toward right now is the most important parenting moment of his entire life. This is a make or break moment for him as a parent. Because if he goes up to her and he says, Aloy told me that you're struggling, and I am here to listen, whatever it is that you have to say. I'm here for you. Awesome. If he goes in there and she says, I've been thinking about killing myself because of a trawl, and he goes, what? You don't want to do that? Ah! And starts freaking out. It's going to make it 1,000 times worse. It is not going to help. I guarantee you it will not help. And I guarantee you there are people watching this right now who at some point were teenagers who potentially had that moment happen in their life and their parent freaked out and it completely shut down the trust that they had in them for a long ass time, maybe forever. You have got to swallow your bullshit and be as present as you can be in that moment. It is the most important thing that you can do. You are the first responder now.
I'm keeping my eyes open.
Don't ask me where to go if you're lost. I'm a guard, not the town crier.
The Hunter's Lodge admits women and savages now. Does tradition mean nothing anymore?
It's about a trawl, Father. He and I were together. I didn't want you to...
A trawl? Yes, I remember him. From when you two were no taller than the flowers in your mother's garden. But he went west.
They never found out about us. He didn't tell them. Even when they...
Oh, Elita. All that time spent writing edicts, I thought my work was keeping you safe from this war. It was all just parchment. And I could have lost you.
I'm so sorry, Father.
I wish I'd known, all this time, what you were going through. But I'll be better. Thank you for this second chance.
Yes! Yes! Oh. Oh, I just got goosebumps. Yes. That's it. That's it. Right there, man. Way to go. Way to go. Way to connect with her. Way to way to acknowledge that you can have a part in this, way to thank her for her vulnerability. Oh. Praise be. Praise be, man. You don't gotta be perfect, but that's a W right there. That's a big W. Way to go, buddy. Oh man, all right, I can sleep tonight. Gorilla, thank you for making that conversation something they had, by the way. I really think it's important from like a player's perspective, especially if you're somebody who's not like me, to be able to bear witness to that conversation and see that happen that way. A really important piece of representation. I don't know if anybody from Gorilla is ever going to watch this, but if you are, thank you for making that conversation something that you could bear witness to. All right, I realized that that was a lot. Okay, that whole sequence of events was a lot for us to take in. There are some really heavy themes in this game, and I just want to say to those of you that are still hanging out here, whether you are watching on YouTube, those of you that are here on Twitch, I realize these are very difficult topics to talk about. Part of the reason I do these playthroughs is so that we can talk about them in this way. And so if you have made your way through this, if you're getting really emotional, if you need to take a break, if you need to step away from the video and pause it for a second, to go get a glass of water, to take a walk, to pet your dog, whatever it is that you need to do that. All right? This video will be here when you get back. I'm not worried about holding engagement here throughout the entire video. So like if you need to do something to take care of yourself, I encourage anybody who's listening to this or watching this, whether it's live or whether it's on YouTube, to please take a second to take care of yourself if you need to. This stuff hits hard, man. This stuff's not easy. This is not stuff that everybody is just automatically equipped to be able to handle. All right, I had to go through a whole bunch of training on the crisis hotline. I had to work on it for 3 years. I have 5 years of graduate training as a therapist. This stuff, it may seem like this is easy for me to weave my way through, but it's through a lot of training, and it doesn't make it any easier emotionally when you have to deal with this. I mean, these are video game characters. It's a little bit easier. We're not seeing like something happen in real life, but the representation of this it's very similar. And so many of us have been touched by suicide in some kind of way in our lives. So I encourage you to take care of yourself if you need to, and then return to the video. This was a lot of heavy stuff. And for those of you that have made it through this and are with me and are continuing to watch, whether it's because you've unpaused or whatever, I really do appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to walk you through some of the harder aspects of what it is to exist. It's tough stuff, but it needs to be talked about. All right. Jeez. Let's go talk to this innkeeper.
Don't look to me for help. My duty is to guard. I don't get involved.
I'm sorry that you've had that experience, Faulty.
We keep to the Sun King's laws here.
Whether the writers consulted with therapists or not for these things, I don't know. I always say these in all the playthroughs, particularly when we get to the credits. I am always available for consultation. If folks who make video games are interested in talking to me about how you can represent these things well. Ooh, the Nora. Ooh. Rumors of the Nora by a well-traveled Aram. Readers, many times I've been asked to describe that most fearsome of barbarian tribes, the Nora of the Savage East. So ferocious are the rumors of these people, you might think it was they who raided us during the dark times of the Mad Sun King, and not the opposite. Well, dear readers, though I possess bravery, there is a shadow length between bravery and certain death, and it is certain death that awaits any who trespass on the sacred land of the Nora. However, I have traveled beyond Daytower into the snow-dusted hinterlands of the Savage East and on to the very edge of Nora territory, now the site of hard-scrabble trading camp known as Hunter's Gathering. There, sat around an open fire with outlanders and uncouths, I was able to gather tales and eyewitness accounts of what might be seen within the Valley of the Warrior Women. They told me another day's travel south lies the Mother's Crown, a name that suggests something grander than the fort of tree trunks and log cabins that was described to me. Still, I was assured it squats most imposingly upon a rocky outcrop, far above rushing rapids and white-capped falls. From its ramparts, a series of watchtowers stretch back across the mountains, and at any side of approach, flaming arrows arc into the air between them. For a tribe so concerned with their precious wilds, I expected less careless behavior. Those interlopers stout or foolhardy enough to approach after this display are turned back with another flight of arrows, this time aimed just above their heads. The Outlanders, chuckling, agreed that if a Karja showed their colors, the arrows would fly lower, and that even soldiers behind Daytower's walls grumbled about being ambushed and devoured by Nora warriors. I corrected them that it was the Tenakth, not the Nora, who are known to engage in cannibalism. In fact, the Nora have only been seen to chew the bark from trees, the tough plants from the ground, and drink strange herbal brews. I propose that they may well be forbidden from eating meat, except at their strange feminine rites beneath the moon. Yes, in the benighted land of the Nora, the natural way of things goes inverted. Women rule men, and all the might of Karja metal can be deflected by logs, leather, and hides. Ruins filled with bounteous artifacts go untouched, and great stretches of farmable land are left uncultivated. Only the machines, which the Nora greatly mistrust, after some ancestral conflict or another, seem untroubled by this rampant strangeness. Father-son has no place here, and I would not be surprised to find the Nora's women's god to be the moon itself. Though it is Nora women who so famously feature in tales of encounters with the tribe, men have also been sighted bearing the outlandish hair and blue-painted markings of Nora warriors. It is my understanding from reading older studies of the tribe that a ritual known as the Proving allows men to battle one another to gain favor from their rulers. My curiosity to witness this and other Nora rituals sadly goes unsated, but it is my hope that His Luminance will extend an offer of alliance to these mysterious barbarians. So emboldened by the Sun King's generosity and the knowledge that I would travel with many well-armored blazons, I would gladly gather a first-hand account for the benefit of my readers. Indeed, I plan to employ a female scribe who might allow better parley between the Nora and I on such an occasion. A better path for a young Karja woman than working as a seller for the Osram metal merchants in town, no? Until such a sun-touched time comes, though, I can only share with you copies from the extensive collection of sketches I've gathered over the years, mere glimpses of these bizarre, savage, and yet still strangely alluring womenfolk. Yikes. Shit matters, though, man, because this is what people read. And if you don't know any better, as we've talked about, you think that's true.
As the sun is my witness, never had a Nora in my house.
What about a man named Gavan?
No, can't say I've heard that name, but we're a trading town, get a lot of people through.
I'm actually kind of surprised this guy didn't freak out when Aloy walked in here, because if that book is open on his countertop, and Aloy walks up to him, you would think that that would be his representation of the Nora. So I'm surprised that this guy is just like, oh, what's up, Nora? Given that his book is wide open to a page that calls them terrifying savages.
All kinds, I'm sure. Like ones who don't want to be followed.
I never heard of your Gavan. If he's trouble, well, can't say I'm sorry. Now, I've things to be doing, Nora girl, if you don't mind.
Well, he wasn't suspicious at all. Time to take a look around.
Take the old Gandarooski around here, huh?
Is that a Nora? I almost thought she was one of us in that outfit.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Gaming details, Reddit, subreddit, right there. That's awesome. I'm wearing a Karja uniform, and that guy has that line to say that. That's awesome. That's really cool. Nice touch, Gorilla.
nothing for you, I'm afraid.
Hello there.
Sure as the sun's rising, that's a quality Carja outfit.
This is interesting. So I'm supposed to look for stuff, but... Okay. Anything up here? Gavin! Gavin! Oh, Gavin! Search the inn for information about
Could
Gavin.
be something around that my focus will see.
Yeah, I've been opening your focus, Aloy, and there's nothing that it's picking up. Oh, there we go.
Hope the day brings
Sun King Avad freed the people his father...
Monocles.
Hello, Gavon. You wouldn't have gotten this off without help. But you didn't make for the harbor, and you didn't go alone.
fear in the city is gone. That Sun King of Oz making up for his time.
Jason! God. Jason! Mario! Mario!
So did Gavon find his friends or his enemies? Suppose they're all the same to me. Looks like they weren't happy to see him back.
Don't you pass out, Gavon. I'm not done with you. If you... Hey!
Hola!
They sent you to take me back to Sunstone?
Not to take you back.
Huh. Well, Hashiv's done your job for you.
Geneva said you were a smuggler, only for the shards. Is that true?
I could tell you anything. A sick mother, or I did it for the poor children.
But you'd be lying.
In the year I spent in the cage, all I regretted was killing that guard, because it got me caught. You can take that back to Sunstone Rock.
Okay. I guess I will. Man, that guy was packing. Well, we found Gavon. He was honest. I give him that. I respect honesty. Even if it ain't what you want to hear. Is there any lore in here? Y'all got any more of that lore? Yeah, like literally we're like the Grim Reaper at this point. Like we show up and people die. Like that has happened so many damn times. So this was the guy, okay, yeah. So this was a guy that we needed to get to for the for the prison warden. Like, so many people have died in our midst.
Let's get on with it.
God damn it. All right, see what's over here.
Good Carja fashion. It's a pleasant sight.
Yeah, you like that? I don't wear it for you, big guy. What's this?
This barrel's been moved recently.
Yeah.
There we go. Tracks.
Hmm. Did we just get catcalled? I don't know that I'd call that a catcall. I think that was more of just an observation. Examine the
Spoiled fruit. The rabbits seem to like it, though. Oh, look. The thief dropped more fruit for me to follow. If I can see it in all this grass.
Yeah, way to catch that, Aloy, because I sure didn't see that. Okay. Banana. This guy took a weird-ass route through here. What is this? What is going on here? Oh boy, I hope I don't have to do this for forever. It's almost like this person wants to be followed.
Is this the last of the fruit? Okay, boars, out of the way so I can have a look.
It's a lot of food.
No footprints this time.
I mean, I'm surprised there aren't cart tracks. I don't know how that person carried that much food. It is astounding to me. Person's just like, yeah, I got like 15 pounds of melons. Who would eat 35 school lunches?
Father, son, forgive me, forgive me.
There's our thief, and he's in trouble.
Oh, baby, your girl to the rescue. All right, bird. What? Shoot the bow, Aloy. All right, buddy, where'd you go? run away from me. Damn, that guy's fast. He was able to get this far away in that tiny piece of time? Good lord. What's up, bud? Taking all those school lunches.
Thank you, Savage. You saved me from the sun's judgment.
I am not going to take offense to that. I know it's really easy to look at this guy and be like, wow, okay. But just bear with me for a second here, okay? Because I think there is some real nuance that gets lost in some of this sometimes when people just get incensed immediately because he just called her a savage. This guy is very clearly, at least it seems, probably not very educated, which means that the only information he has about the Nora is that they've been called savages, such that it's probably just so heavily normalized amongst the culture that he's been embedded in that calling her savage to her face probably doesn't even seem like it would be offensive. It's just what he knows her as. He may not even understand the concept of what savage is. I'm not saying Aloy has to like the guy, but I also don't know that Aloy getting all up in arms about the fact that he just called her a savage is particularly useful to her either, because if you take context into account, it would make sense why he would call her that. We literally just read a book from an anthropologist that perpetuates all of these narratives about the Nora. He said that so casually in his greeting with her that I really think it's more of an indictment on the system he's embedded in than it is on him personally. Not saying, again, we don't have to like him, we don't have to connect with him personally, but I just don't think it does Aloy any favors to just automatically freak out at this guy because he called her a savage. And she can. If she's pissed about it and she wants to go at him about it, she absolutely can. I'm not trying to tell Aloy what to do with her experience here, but I do think it's important to take a second here and just add a little bit of context to why this guy would say that to her face. He literally just watched her rip 3 glint hawks to shreds and track him. You really think that you would spit in the face of somebody you just saw kick major ass? Like, most people I don't think would do that. I think it just really comes from ignorance and lack of education and the way that the Nora have been represented to him. He even said, "Thank you, savage." Like, it's just what he calls her. He doesn't know any better.
I did what now?
I left the misery of Sunfall not long ago, knowing that I'd never be welcome back in Meridian. So, I've been stealing food from a woman at Bright Market just to survive. But the glint hawks must be the judgment of the sun.
You believe it attacked you because you were stealing?
Why else? What if I beg forgiveness from the lady? Will that absolve me and save me from the Glinthawks?
I took care of the Glinthawks, but yes, you should return and apologize. The woman you stole from is kind. She'll forgive you.
The sun has spoken! Thank you again, Savage. May the sun light your way!
Great. People finally stopped calling me outcast, and now it's Savage.
I appreciate her reflection on that, as it is true, right? But yeah, like, he's taking a lot. I'm not gonna judge him. I mean, he's stealing food. I have a hard time judging people for stealing food, but I'm glad that he was open to the idea that he could go back and talk to that woman and that she may be merciful toward him. And maybe they can work out something where he communicates that he's struggling and she really is willing to help him out. I think that's cool. All right. A curious proposal. Okay, so let's just regroup for a second here. That's good. So we're going to go back to Geneva, return to the Hunter's Lodge, search for the Banuk camp. We're not going to do that yet. I don't really want to do the... Rumors are spreading events in the Cut. Banuk lands, we're not going up there yet. Investigate the bunker, find use for the power cell. A curious proposal. Fernand, a shady opportunist, told Aloy of an ancient relic cached in Dusk Mesa. I say we go do that. And then we'll work our way down to the prison. The fact that he simultaneously believes his god is acting through her and calling her a savage. Again, I think that's why it's so important for us to take context into account. Like, I really don't believe that that guy is saying savage to be derogatory toward her. I really think that's what he thinks he's supposed to call her. Lack of education will do that. And maybe that experience he just had of Aloy will be helpful to him saying, okay, maybe not all the Nora are terrible savages. Maybe he looks at her and he's like, well, that was actually a pretty pleasant experience. Maybe the Nora aren't so bad. But I think getting like on his ass about that and basically being like, wow, you're a racist douche, I think really misses an opportunity for that guy to have a moment with some alternative representation that may be more important than just getting yelled at. But if Aloy did, because she was incensed by it, that is... I would get it. I'm not telling Aloy not to be offended. These things can really jump, man. Yeah, Aloy absolutely could have said, please don't refer to me as a savage. I don't appreciate that. And maybe because she helped him, that would be what he needs in order to rethink the fact that he uses that word. Maybe be like, wow, this person who helped me out said she doesn't want to be called that. All right. Like, we don't know how he would respond there, but she chose not to address it, and that is certainly her prerogative. Guess I can't take any chances. Yeah, so unfortunately it sucks that people have to be taught that kind of thing, right? Like, the idea would be, hey, let's make sure that racism and isms aren't part of what we have to deal with. And there is too much burden that has to go on people who are subjected to racism. And I don't want to make it sound like, you know, oh, you should just, you know, bite your tongue and take it in stride or anything like that. Because that is a reality that a lot of people have to live with. I think there is a huge difference between people who inadvertently engage in isms because of a lack of education and a lack of representation, where they really are a well-meaning person that just doesn't know any better, and people who actively immerse themselves in ignorance and use that to intentionally harm. Like, there's a difference between intentional participation in an ism and inadvertent participation due to a lack of resource and context. And it's hard sometimes to have these conversations about it because a lot of people like to lump all of that into one thing and go, no, racism bad. But like the only way that you really learn that racism is bad is if you learn that racism is bad, is if you have experiences that show you that that's not an ideal way to engage with the world. Like, these aren't things that you just automatically come around on, because again, a lot of people are like, I don't hate anyone. I don't hate people because of X thing. And sometimes that's actually true. You just don't understand what you have been what has been learned and what has been represented to you. And you don't understand how to synthesize that in any kind of meaningful way. It's why education is so important. It's why diverse representation is so important, because we don't want the burden to be on marginalized groups to have to continue to bite their tongue and to have to engage and be nice to people who are actively mean to them. And there is merit, I think, to asking oneself, like, what is the context that I'm engaging with right now? Am I engaging with somebody who's calling me a savage because he hates the Nora and wants to marginalize me and make sure that I know my place in the world? Or is this guy calling me a savage because he simply doesn't have the education to understand why saying something like that to me would be problematic? And that changes the way that you engage with a person, I think. And I think there's real opportunity for mass alternative representation that can go a longer way when those moments are handled with care like that. But it's difficult, man. That's why I say, if Aloy got pissed off and wanted to slap back at him and say, don't you dare call me a savage, you asshole, she's within her right to do that. The fact that she didn't tells me that maybe she read a little bit of the context that we did. I appreciate you sharing that, by the way, Hemso. I really do.
Dusk Mesa. Now I need to find some place too high to reach, if I'm to believe anything Fernand said.
Well, good thing there are some climbable walls over here, Aloy. Honestly, I would think maybe it's because she's just a woman with a bow, with her hair done in like a kind of very traditional. Like, we haven't seen many Karja that do their hair the way that Aloy does.
What do you know? There really is something, and it's empty.
Spear girl!
Of course.
You found it. The perfect location for an ambush. Now throw down that magnificent spear, and we'll let you live.
You've obviously heard of me. You know what I'm capable of. Why do you think this will turn out well for you?
I like the odds. Get her.
Why do I bother?
Don't worry, guys. I'll just die for you by jumping down off this ledge. You guys really are dumb. Idiot.
Got someone to fight here.
That's the last of them. But Fernand ran off. Right to the Meridian docks, I'll bet.
Yeah, we'll be going back there anyway. I would agree with that, Sakar, right? She's only been called savage for the last couple of days. That's completely true. So, like, maybe she's, yeah, she has to understand what that even means for her. I do like that we get to see her make the connection between, like, the whole, like, outcast and savage thing. Like, she's essentially being othered by being called that. All right. Let's go see what this Warden has to say. I can't get over how beautiful. It's just so pretty, man. God damn, is it beautiful. This game is a masterpiece. So did all 3 prisoners die? Yes. They sure are. Let me in.
Sun's rising. He's courting that noble girl.
Really? Not gonna. Okay. Gotta go in the stupid back way here. What up?
Were I a gambler?
Your aid to the Karja Sundom in these times of strife is appreciated. That's the official response. I'd say, I can tell you've done the work by the look on your face.
2 of them got themselves killed. The other, welcome to fight to the end.
They would have found death with or without you, taken others with them.
That's what I told myself.
Smart girl. Doubt we'll meet again, so go in light.
It's a interesting way to put that, but okie dokie. I am going to gift you a significant amount of reward boxes. Don't mind the mess that I'm gonna leave here. Oh my god. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Take those pots. Her reward was less than extraordinary in my mind. Let's go. What do I want to do here? Let's go Cauldron. Let's go Cauldron it up. Those reward boxes are kind of whatever for me.
Last of it for now. Mist's lifting.
Oh, this is this the crazy one? Where we're like have this whole bandit camp? Yep. All right. All right. Heidi ho! We're going in guns blazing. I'm not dealing with this sneak around bullshit. Idiot.
Eclipse. What are they doing here?
Just being Eclipsean. God damn it. Stupid leaves. What are you doing? Arrows?
We're dead too if you don't fight.
Away from home.
Y'all checking out this here cauldron. Open the door. Open the door!
Locked. Maybe one of the guards has a key.
Yeah, of course. Better be you. Damn it. Better be you. No. Alright, that's badass. Not gonna worry about it right now. Called the sniper. No. Cultist thug. There it is. Howdy!
Here.
Every time
Oh man. Alright, so these people know about these. Yeah,
Going down fast.
I am a death machine, man.
This was a cauldron once. But the wild got in. And now the enemy too.
Oh, good.
They're digging too deep if you ask me. Should listen to orders.
Does beating this cauldron mean I get to take control of humans? Shove my spear up their ass and then tell them what to do? Kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. Is that a tall neck down here?
Must have been a cave-in. A big one.
Whoa.
If this place to give birth to machine.
I can
What up?
hear you. I think.
You're getting grim, you know that. You need more sun.
It's a shame. It's a shame there's not a tribe that worships Joe Pesci. Yes, give me your question marks.
You will not.
All right, where's the good stuff? Ooh, what's up there? Supply crate. Well, say no more, Focus. Not even that interesting. Anything else over here that... I mean, this is kind of cool just to explore this. It's so elaborate. Another supply crate. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, what's all that? Blaze can... Oh, okay. I already know that. We're gonna go... this way. Investigate the cultist presence in the cauldron. Nyom. I don't want to fall down that hole. So let's go over here. Look at all this lovely scaffolding that they've put in here. This thing, and then we go up here. Override the core. All right. What do we got to fight in here, I wonder?
Spotted. Let's see what they're so afraid of.
Yeah, why not?
That's it. More machines I can override.
What have you done?
Oh, shit. Hey! Don't mind if I bring some death with my gun. Which has astoundingly terrible accuracy relative to my bow. God, this thing sucks. Yeah, screw that thing. Oh God.
Look out! She's unleashed machines.
You guide me.
Holy shit. Oh boy. Get in here, machines. Do thine bidding. Oh, give me your gun. Your gun's good. There we go. Yeah, it's good. Gimme. So many people in here. Holy crap. I bank on that gun being as inaccurate for them as it is for me. All right, there we go. Done and done. Find an exit. Oof. Let's get out of here. Perhaps we go this way. Yeah, there we go. I wonder what all of these people think about the cauldrons, like what meaning they make out of it. More? Really?
Stalkers.
To take you on.
Man, the noise those make. So terrible. Oh shit, what is that? Black hole sun, won't you gone? Wash away the pain. Black hole sun. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na. I mean, it looks like that looks like one of those replicator things that they were talking about when we were in the skyscraper that essentially like uses the organic matter to fabricate new machines. How the hell do I get out of here? Oh my god, there's lava? Holy shit. Or magma. Alright, climb the pillar to escape.
By the shadow, please. Don't let it see.
Keep quiet.
Oh, they're scared of these guys. Oh. Haha, that's interesting. They're like hiding because they're terror. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That must be what it looks like on our end, or on their end when we pop out of the bushes. Hey! Hey! I'm just trying to get out of here. That dude was begging not to be seen, and I just killed him. I sure did. I'm worse than the tigers. Scarier than them.
Almost out of here.
Jesus.
Calm.
Can't have gotten far. Look
These aren't even that strong. I'm over this place. I'm over it.
Someone here?
Yeah, back up. Woo-wee!
Well, so much for their salvage operation. The metal was simply in control.
Oh, this is fun. This is great. Bro. All right. Whew. Done. Pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good. We've gotten a lot of vantage points. We still got some flowers we gotta grab. Another vantage point over here. Another vantage point over here. Ooh, we got, all right, let's go. Fast travel is disabled right now. What? Ugh. Okay. Now, allow me to fast travel to where I'd like to go, please. We're knocking stuff out. I'm pretty sure that's the last Cauldron. I'm pretty sure we're done with those. So let's get some of these collectibles, and then we're gonna be basically like, we're gonna be screaming through the main storyline. Now the vantage point has got to be this cliff, right? Yeah, there we go. Good.
A pocket ship storm tour, day 8. Holy crap. That glitched out lifter that crushed your arm and clavicle. Back before you met Wyatt. That was in a mine back beyond these falls. Oh, what a punk I was.
Ma, I can't believe I just stumbled across this place. I remembered your injury, of course. I just forgot that it happened all the way out here. This was before Wyatt, obviously, when things were really hard for us. I was 12 or 13, already smoking duster every day, and you were working all the time, stuck on the job you convinced Metallurgic to give you after they stiffed us on the death settlement. Must have been terrible servicing mining robots in dig tunnels for 1.5 basic. But it's how you kept us fed. When the lifter injured you, the foreman said it was your fault. Said the telemetry showed human error, yours. When you told me that the telemetry had been cooked, I didn't believe you. I blamed you for your injuries, same as the company. What a great kid I was. I didn't understand the situation at all. Denial of comp was a financial death blow. We were days from living on the street, which is why you pushed your grievance up the ladder. Up and up, until finally you wound up in Wyatt's office. He ordered an investigation, which is the right thing to do, though I've always wondered just how dispassionate his decision was. The investigation proved the telemetry had been tampered with and validated your claim, and the implants and cybernetics fixed you up good as new. By all appearances, it looked like everything that had gotten broken had been fixed. Hell, another 6 months and you and Wyatt started seeing each other, so before long, even our poverty was fixed. What we didn't know, of course, that you'd been poisoned. Lubor 6 exposure from the solvents you used to keep robot joints clear. We were still years away from knowing the long-term effects, but the damage was done. You doomed yourself working a shitty job to keep me fed and clothed, and I can't even remember a single time I thanked you for it. Screw this place. Oof. I mean, that's part of her responsibility as your parent. I mean, when kids internalize that stuff and think that, they should feel bad for the fact that their parents did whatever they could to help them survive, you got to be really careful with that. Is ultimately that's theoretically what your mother should have done. I mean, putting yourself at risk in that way is not great, but that's not his fault. Really is a lesson, though, that, like, if you do experience a level of appreciation for the people around you, you should tell them while you can. A lot of people take for granted that they'll have opportunities in the future to express that appreciation and then lose that opportunity. And it seems like a lot of this guy's grief is potentially centered on that. So he's essentially expressing his appreciation post-mortem. Aloy's gonna die of hypothermia. Ditto, Dia. Alright. Gotta be a flower up here. Man, Aloy's gotta be freezing her tootsies off here. That's something my mom used to say that all the time. It's like, you're freezing you're gonna freeze your tootsie off out there. Man, it's really coming down. It's raining watchers and glinthawks, am I right?
Uh-oh, spotted.
Oh my god. Holy shit, it's like he's glued to me. Damn it. Ah! All this for a goddamn flower, man. Oh, what a shot that was. Jesus. All this for a flower. Where could that flower be? There it is. You sneaky little bugger. Okay. To tangle or untangle the willow. It's up to the wind. Cool. All right, glad we got that one. Maybe a little extra thought next time, oh ye poet. The flower was the friends we made along the way. Seriously, though. Like, come on. Give me a little something. Give me a little more than that. Whoa! Hey, easy. Maybe this one will be more elaborate. Nope. From the mind of a single long vine, 100 opening lives. Got that, chat? I'm gonna quiz you on it later. All right, let's go get this Banuk figurine.
Calm, calm.
Hey, what's up? We got a little side quest action going here. Hunter's Gathering. What's up, guys?
Like this, just working in the smelting halls.
Hey there.
Little Spark. Name's Jira. I run this fine watering hole.
I like what you've done with the place. Something troubling you, Jira?
When the Karja fort opened, I got word that my husband had come looking for me. But only the word made it to the fort. He didn't.
You have a husband?
Kendrick. Beat him in an arm wrestling match. I left him behind when I left the claim. Some metal sellers passed him at the bridge near the glare break. Seeing as you drift on the wind, little Spark.
If I'm out that way, I'll look for him, but do you want him to find you, Jira?
Ever have those mornings when you wake up without all the answers? Still, I'll be heading up to the fort to resupply. Luck on your travels.
Wonderful.
I like that Aloy asked that. Like, do you actually want him to find you? That's good. Because if she doesn't, I could turn a blind eye. All right, base camp for the Banuk figurine.
Too damn quiet out here.
Let's go. Up. And up. Come on. Up you go, Aloy. Come on. There you go. Woo! Isn't that the place from the Karja document from the anthropologist? I believe so, yeah. How did the Banuk paint that? Okay. Banuk artifact, I name you. Tuk-Tuk. Upon this peak, I name you my son. That which I could not do before my exile. Signac, chieftain of my Werek, thought your blood was his, but the truth was clear as the color of the sky, painted in your eyes and mine. As I wander alone in this foreign land, it is not Signac's death that wounds me, nor the memory of Eli, your mother, nor even the loss of snow, sheathed Ban-Ur, my home, but instead the silence that lay between us. We should have been father and son. I paint my mark here for you and leave you this offering, though it will never touch the warmth of your hands. I only got 2 more of these. Alright, more hunting grounds. Weapons of the Lodge. Valley Meat Hunting Ground. Don't really care too much about that. We got another vantage point over here to go snag. We got 2 more vantage points over here to go snag. Let's go. Let's go. By the way, if you're sticking through all this while I collect stuff, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. I hope that you are enjoying my reading of these. And I hope you're just enjoying how rich they are as much as I am, because it is very cool to see how much lore is baked into this world that we're exploring. I love it very much. It'll free us up to focus entirely on the story when the time comes. Also, where this guy chose to bury these is interesting. I gotta figure out where... Do I gotta go up there? I'm guessing I probably have to go up there. I just appreciate so much how Guerrilla basically makes all of this stuff worth collecting. It's too many games, looking at you, Ubisoft, make you collect shit just for the sake of collecting it, and it really does feel pointless. Whereas this game, it does not make this pointless. Oh, the vantage point is just right over there.
Easier when I was a kid.
I was about to make that way too complicated, huh? Ooh. It's like Red Rocks.
The Pocket Shitstorm Tour, Day 5. The Grey Swarms opened for Turtle Smash the night I OD'd here. Or so the police report said, anyway. I was 15 years old. When I woke in the hospital, 2 days later, your face was the first thing I saw.
Hi, Ma. I don't remember anything about the concert. The bands, the music, the crowd. I was too throttled on Skydive and Snake that night to distinguish the thunder of Bashcore from the roar of blood in my head. And then I ran across a pusher who was selling Razor Wing for $8 a tab. That's right, Razor Wing. A certain designer stimulant named after a certain late 30s fighter craft that our family had a certain unpleasant association with. So I declined the offer, headed the ominous portent, and got the hell out of there, right? Or maybe what I did was buy 4 tabs and take them all at once. Yeah, did that. According to the police report, I went berserk and attacked the pusher, then set fire to his stash, then went after the security drones that showed up. I didn't get far. The drones put 50,000 volts through me, which wouldn't have been such a big deal if my heart hadn't already been hammering along at triple time. Shock flat out killed me. The medbots came as fast as they could, but the first glitched out, and the second got hung up in the crowd, so I was dead for almost 2 minutes. And even after they revived me, my condition was touch and go on account of all the substance sloshing through my veins. When I came out of the coma, your face was the first thing I saw. You'd been crying. Your makeup was smudged, dark lines down your cheeks. When our eyes met, I expected you to start yelling. And weak as I was ready to yell back. Not even a coma could break my defiance. But you didn't yell. You quietly asked Wyatt to wait in the hall, then pushed your chair right up to the edge of my bed and took my hand. I wanted to jerk my hand back, but I couldn't. It wasn't the strength of your grip that stopped me, but the warmth of your hand, the gentleness with which you took mine. When you spoke, your voice was quiet, just above a whisper. When I lost your Baba 7 years ago, you were my only reason to go on living. Your gaze lifted to the medical equipment surrounding us, the tubes and blinking lights. You shook your head. Why do you live like no one loves you? Don't you realize that if you die, all my hopes and dreams, and all the hopes and dreams of your father die with you? You reached and touched my hair, and like a thunder crack, I broke. Or maybe I was just snapping back together. I lay there, sobbing for what felt like years. The whole time, you never took your hand away, and I didn't either. The next day, I agreed to go into treatment. I wish I could say I never picked up again, but as we both know, it's not exactly how things turned out. Wow. I mean, that level of consistency and reliability in his times of significant distress, I mean, that's meaningful. Like, that matters. It makes sense why he's essentially writing to be close to her. Given the fact that, like, he went through so much of this shit. Pretty rough, man. But, you know, even after somebody dies, you can still feel some spiritual closeness to them by writing to them. And I know I keep saying this every time we go through his stuff, but, like, that's a real meaningful way of grieving, is to bring that person closer like that through writing. It can be incredibly cathartic. All right.
It'd be fascinating if they weren't looking for me.
All right, pile of stuff. Probably in here. Maybe. Oh boy, I'm being hunted. Like in this town. Where is this vessel at? I find the vessels less interesting, but I want to see what that guy gives me for getting all of them, so. A pile of rubbles gotta be around here somewhere.
Pass the test.
I also am going to use this as a chance to remind everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this live, please do not post spoilers or extra information we have not come across. It ruins the vibe. USRC. All right. Big boy. All right. It's nice when you can sneak up behind those. Okay. Okay. Summer grasses, all that remains of soldiers' dreams. God, these are boring. What happened to all the cool, elaborate shit we were reading? Maybe we'll learn more when we turn him into the person at Meridian. I do want some more juicy lore, though. If I can see some, like, stuff laying around, I'm always down to scan. I mean, it may say something about the location that they're in. Like, I mean, there very well could be, like, a reason why theirs are so short right here. Oh boy. There it is. Which one we get? Red-eye visage. Okay. Cool. Another flower, another Vantage. This is excellent. This is going well. I like that they're all clustered. Running through these old ruins. Makes you wonder which city it was. All these corrupted watchers everywhere. We're going in. We're going deep in. Oh shit, that one shoots. Okay. I'm better than you, and I know it. Stupid ass machines. Oh, great.
Right on target.
God damn! Sharing tree shade with a butterfly, friends in a previous life. These old Mark 1s are... lacking in substance. But perhaps not in depth. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to care. All right. Climb this big ass building for another vantage point. Ooh, there we go. We got a scannable thing. Love it. Let's go. Wait, somebody's campfire in here? Supplier. Finally got that lead on a vat meat supplier out of Tulsa. Seems affordable. Sample scheduled for delivery later tonight. They do everything. Beef, chicken, pork, mutton, even alligator jerky, which I didn't even realize was something people want. The quality's adequate. This enterprise kicks into high gear. Stuff what Dad said about real spice dining. Legacy industry, my ass. I've actually had alligator jerky before. It was pretty good. I've had alligator jerky. I've had venison jerky. I've had kangaroo jerky. Beef jerky, obviously. Here's the vantage point.
I can guess why there was a Vantage here.
Oh, nice. Raiders.
Upon the shitstorm tour, day 6. I was fresh out of rehab when we saw the metallurgist play the Hearts Wayfarers. The Emmett jersey looked pretty funny. Hopefully you're sorry.
All right, we got the whole set of 3. Hi, Ma. So this would have been late May or early June. I was only a week or 2 out of rehab, still feeling pretty raw, pretty jangly about sober life. You'd already gone toe-to-toe with Mr. Gerson, that jerk principal who tried to block my Reed mission. I was looking at 8 weeks of summer school to make up for all the courses I'd flunked, but I didn't mind. Without drugs, I didn't really know what to do with myself yet, so I welcomed the structure. The metallurgists were playing the Wayfarers, and as usual, Wyatt had box tickets. But this was the first time I'd agreed to go. Hell, it was probably the first time I'd ever agreed to do anything as a family. In retrospect, I'm surprised Wyatt was willing to bring his hellion stepson to a public event so soon. I'd seen teams slug it out on the hollow before, of course, but seeing it in real was a whole other thing. The size of the machines, their speed, the way they bashed each other into pieces. It was intense. All at once, my fascination with tech, which had kind of faded as I'd sunk into the drugs, came roaring back. When homie Rahman, the team's chief engineer, stopped by at the box at halftime, I was all over him, blasting him with questions like a one-boy press conference. Looking back, it wouldn't surprise me if you took me to that game hoping to get me excited about tech before I headed into summer school. Or was it that you wanted me to catch a glimpse of the corporate privilege? It was always your dream that I'd end up in engineering or business. Well, there's plenty of engineering on display when Conor 12 scored with an 18-meter rocket jump, and plenty of VPs and even C-levels in the box with us when we cheered the goal. Yeah, it was a setup. You knew what you were doing. Always did. I guess I will say this does have a bit of like a, if this was the US, I don't know. I mean, where you would see this would be like, this is, I suppose, like where, well, I don't know. Because like there's a bunch of water here. Mountains, then desert. I mean, it makes sense geographically. Or no, it doesn't, because you'd have the desert on the eastern side of the mountains. All right, whatever, it doesn't matter. I didn't go to school for that shit, so who cares? A moment's peace search of the Banuk camp. I don't know that I want to go up to the Banuk just yet. I do want to get... Ooh, another van... Okay, we got more shit to get over here. Good stuff, man. It's just like a nice reading stream. After some of the intensity that we've had. Let's go read more about the Apaka shitstorm. Based on how much we've been reading, I'm almost more like immersed in the world as it was 972 years ago than I am as it is now. Like, I like the world as it is now, but man, there's just so much intrigue in the previous place. All right. And we will read that one at the start of part 17. So if you want to know what that viewpoint says, hop over to the next episode. YouTube, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. I really appreciate all of your support. Those of you that are here live on Twitch, thank you as well. It is wonderful to bring this amazing world to all of you. Thanks for letting me Sherpa you through it. We're knocking a lot of good stuff out here. It's great. So make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment if you feel so inclined. Follow the links in the description. If you're binging, I'll see you in the next one. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, we'll get it out as soon as we can. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.